Hey everybody, welcome to Connecting Cannabis. I'm your host Brian Haller. This is presented by Wrazel, and I'm happy to bring you our special guest today, Mr. Dino H. Carter, marketing and branding expert for cannabis companies. Dino, how are you today, sir?
I am quarantined well. How are you?
About the same, as you can see from my lovely white wall behind me. That is not very well branded at all. That we're all kind of getting used to the new normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun that way. Anyhow, I say we dig right into it. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
We got
some questions in the mail, and we got some on LinkedIn and social media. So let's just start.
Indeed. And first of all, thanks to everybody that submitted their questions. We really do appreciate it. If you do have some more, feel free to chime in. We'll try to get to them as we can. The first one is a very relevant one, and one of course, a lot of people that we speak to are concerned about, which is, how do you go about getting funding, or how do you fund right now when we all have to be inside more?
Yeah, that's a great question that I got on LinkedIn, and first of all, you can use platforms like funding investing platforms, platforms that, they're online, so it doesn't matter. You don't need to meet actually. The other thing, and this is very important, actually, now it's a great opportunity to get funds. Not a lot, but some smart investors with cash know that now it's actually a good time to find great prices and invest, because everything is so collapsing in a way. Yeah. But I think the big drop is behind us. So now they know that everybody needs cash, mainly in cannabis after the last year. So now it's actually a great time to go and look for funding.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're an investor, stalls like this can be very beneficial, and as long as you see it the right way, and you've done a good job vetting out each opportunity and seeing where it comes. I mean, that's why a platform like Wrazel is very helpful. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but we definitely are there to help vet good opportunities for investors, and to help business owners get tightened up, or buttoned up, as we like to call it, so they can present well to investors. So
yeah, that definitely helping. I mean, you actually need to make the phone calls and do whatever it takes to find your funding. But one of the steps you need to take is, get help from Wrazel. So for sure.
Yeah, and absolutely. And of course, if any of you guys out there are looking for funding for your companies, make sure to say hello. We'd love to hear from you. All right. That was a great question. A very good one and very timely. Let's steer towards sales, which is, of course, a big, concern right now for a lot of people. So,
yeah.
Dino, what's your biggest tip, or your most important tip right now for kind of maintaining your sales?
Actually, there's one thing that I would say, change your focus. What usually happens in times of uncertainty and crisis and pressure goes up, people usually don't think straight. They forget a lot of things. It's part of who we are. The chemicals inside of us, the cortisols got really up, so we can't think straight. And what people usually, they're so, I gotta have money, I gotta create more sales, more new customers. How do I get new sales? When you need to shift from acquisitions and new sales to actually retention, which means working with what you got. It's always good to work with what you got. You have customers already. You have subscribers already. You have people who bought from you online already. So now is the best thing to put most of your attention on retention and not on acquisition, because it's much easier to sell to someone who already bought than to someone that you're trying to convince to buy for the first time. Actually, last year, they did kind of a research, and the chances of selling to someone that is an existing customer is about 65 to 70%. And when you're trying to sell to someone for the first time, it's about 15 to 25 chances. And remember that when we're talking about services, B2B and even B2C, right, the amount of connections, the amount of times that you need to contact someone is just getting more and more and higher because there's so much of the same. I mean, right, let's say, if you're trying to sell your seeds, if you're trying to sell your extracts, you're not alone. There's so many out there. Right. So you need to try once, and then an email, and then a phone call, and then another phone call, and then maybe another email. So instead of 1, 2, 3 times, it's 13, maybe something even 30. But if you will call someone who already knows you, you have rapport with, and that's a repeat sale. And when you're selling online, hemp CBD, there are 3 things in sales of retention or retention sales. One is repeat sale, the other one is upsell, and the third is cross sell. And all of these things you can create online on your online shop with emails, nurturing emails, checkout, cart abandonment, and so on and so forth. We won't get into that.
Sure.
But if you guys sell online and you need help with that, give me a call or just DM or send me something, and I'll give you some more information.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do a plug for Dino as well. Make sure to call him up, especially if you have concerns with kind of how you're branding and your strategy in terms of really being able to hone in on your sales and lead generation, things like that. I think content creation is going to be, it already is a super big deal, but ultimately I think that's a way also to continue to retain or even maybe attract new audience, or new sales, but it also serves multiple purposes, which is kind of the theme. In a time where we need to hunker down, we need to maximize our resources, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
And so that's, I think that's kind of part and parcel for all the advice, I would guess, that, that you're going to get, at this time, because, it's really time to look and evaluate what you have, right? Like you were saying. So what a good question. Thank you for that one. Kind of going on that note, what is the most important activity? This is a question we got from Facebook, I believe. What is the most important activity or to invest your time and resources in right now, given our current situation?
Well, that's a great question. And it's funny that you just talked about, honing down and all that. So you need to ramp up your online marketing. At the moment, everybody is indoor, everybody's online, and actually people buy. Yeah. People are buying online right now.
Sure.
I live in Hollywood. Yesterday, I went to take a video on Hollywood Boulevard, when the Oscars are. No one's there.
Yeah.
There are like maybe 3 buses and 1 tourist, that's walking and looking at the stars. But there's no one there. And this is a place, it's packed like Manhattan. So everybody's indoor, everybody's online, on their mobile. You have to have good online marketing. That's the time. And now when you're indoor, you have more time to actually work on that. 3 months ago, as a CEO or a manager, you didn't have that time to actually hone down and see, okay, what do I need to do? If it's social media, or your SEO, your website, your user experience, and so on and so forth. So you guys really, really need to ramp up your online marketing. And it's an issue that I see with many cannabis businesses, actually.
Yes, we run into that a lot too, as you all know. And ultimately, it's like, I look at that as hunkering down, because these are the things that I've always been having to kind of push clients and companies to kind of, let's go, we got to do more, and we got to be more strategic here. Now everybody's like, what do we do? And it's basically, these are resources that are free to us that have major ROI, right?
Major.
Incredible. what's my investment on my internet? $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever it is, right? I can crank out massive amounts of like live content. Hey, maybe an online Q&A. Hey, wait, we're doing that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? But I mean, it's all sorts of different things like that. Like this is the time to work with your marketing department or your agency or your consultants and to say, okay, what can we do with what we have? Exactly. And you can do a lot is I think the overall point.
Totally.
Yeah. So on that note, though, I mean, when you're talking about marketing, I think in the midst of a crisis, people have a hard time figuring out how to sell, essentially to sell, right? You know, so what do you think? Is it wrong to push your products, or maybe a better way to rephrase that question is, what is the best way to promote your products given the current environment?
Well, you said sales, and it's interesting. I know that a lot of people, and I got it I got a question very much like that from someone outside of the cannabis business. You know, another, it's like a segment that really they can't be open right now, and they need to be, you know, face to face. And he asked me the same thing, and he said, I think that selling right now online, you know, like push my products on social media and on Instagram and all of that is like, that's, you know, in a time like this, I feel that it's awkward. Yeah, you feel that it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So actually, the one who asked me that told me that he stopped with his Instagram because of that. Big mistake. First of all, if you think that and you feel awkward selling on your social media, don't sell on your social media. If something feels awkward for you, just don't do that. Because people are smart. People can sniff inauthenticity from miles away these days. It's not like the consumer today knows they have all the power, and they're very smart and savvy when it comes to marketing.
Oh, yes.
Now, social media was never about sales. Never. It was about connection. It was about being out there, create brand awareness. The fact that people post photos of their products and all that, and try to create sales from Instagram or social media or Twitter usually doesn't work. So why do you do that? On the other hand, just like you said, it's more important to show up for your community, create those following, support your followers, give them content that can help them cope with this crisis in any way you can, and actually don't try to sell them at all. Try to create a better bond between your brand and the followers. Try to create more followers. And then when this effing crisis will end, you will have much better base to work on. And then you can sell, and then you can send emails, and then you can be more hard sell. But from my experience, and you probably know it, that every time you see those who actually put their products on social media and try to, through a post, create sales, those, and I've worked with many companies like that, they don't create sales, and their cash flow is pretty low. Once you change the strategy of their social media not to focus on sales, all of a sudden you see that they have more traffic, they have more sales. So, you know, don't feel awkward and don't try to sell on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I think it's more like, maybe we shouldn't use the word sell, you know? Like, I mean, I understand sales.
Why not?
You know?
Sales is great.
Yeah, I mean, sales is great, but it's really like, I got nothing wrong with the word. I'm just saying, like, ultimately it's really about just being transparent and as best as you can, and showing that your company has, you know, something to offer, right? And that any business owner should get behind, you know? They own the business, they have passion for it.
Exactly. I can tell you, I'll give you real example, real life example. One of my clients sells high ticket items, like the lowest, the less expensive product is $300. That's online, that's high ticket.
Yeah, it is.
So you can't buy anything from them for less than $299. Okay. And that's a deal over there.
Yeah.
So it's like a sale. And California, we started the lockdown, 2 weeks ago, I think, right?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
So when we knew that on Friday we're gonna get on lockdown, and I knew that they will not be able to produce as fast because less workers are working at the warehouse, we decided to actually push on social media. But instead of pushing, hey, this is our product, it's the best product out there.
Right.
We just we found out what it is that they're looking for, or they would like to hear and see on social media and on newsletters. We sent more newsletters than ever. We started with telling them how, this company is still here for you. You will get everything. We're still doing that. Some humor, because some of them are, kind of stoners. So it's very much about, the target audience. Yeah. And since Friday, we saw surge, like a spike in sales. Why? Because we're there, and you can see something more interesting. And I checked that today on the website, is that the conversion rate is much better since the lockdown.
That makes sense.
Which is amazing, because people see that you're there, that you're with them, you're talking in their language. Okay, let's buy it. And you can see that the conversion rate and the conversion time just dropped. So that's how you utilize social media and content without selling.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, it's really about just showing, your company, its products, maybe even the heart or the culture of your company.
The heart and the culture is more important than the product. Nobody cares about the product. They know about the product or they don't. What they want to know is why they should buy from you, because someone else sells the same product as you do or give the same service. So the question is, why you? And if, as you said, you will show them your heart and your culture, that's the reason why. That's where the bond is, and that's where you get, the sales.
Yes, and I kind of piggybacking on that, we got only a couple of questions left. One is essentially just building on what we're talking about, which is, what do you see cannabis companies struggle with regards to online marketing, which I think this is part of it.
Yeah, this is very interesting, because if there's one thing that is very unique for the cannabis space, is the experience, is to touch and learn about the product. That's why there's so much brand activation and experiential marketing in this space. And all of a sudden now everybody's indoor. You can't do Coachella. You don't understand how many small events and dinners and stuff were set for Coachella.
Oh,
like, wow.
Significant,
amazing ideas for activation and activation in my English.
It's okay.
But now you can't have it. So this is really an issue, because people want to learn about the product and why should they use it, and what's the benefits, and what does it give, and how do you use it. And this is so important for this industry, the cannabis industry, and now you can't do it. So the idea is to think really out of the box. How do I do that?
Yep.
One of the best things is to see how you can use other people and other industries, because you don't need to invent the wheel. For instance, I know that a great beauty brand has nothing to do with cannabis at all.
Sure.
They are very targeted, and for them, see the lipstick, see the concealer, try it and all that, it's very important. And they don't know, okay, what are we going to do right now? Because we can't, see the clients and touch the clients or anything like that. So what they are doing, and in cannabis industry, you can do as well, because the cannabis industry is so community-based space. Yeah. Use the community and see how you can connect people, brand ambassadors, to get your product and to send that to people they know. Use actual people to talk about your product and show what the product does, how it helps them. And instead of being in an event when 50 people are touching each other, you can just create samples that you ship.
Yeah.
And you can actually show in videos that you post on social media, or even send with that sample, how everybody uses gloves and everything is clean and disinfecting when you're sending the sample. So just think outside of the box. Everything is possible. Just need to think and do it.
Exactly. I've seen an uptick on two types of content in the last 2 or 3 weeks. One are things like this, webinars or Q&As or live broadcasts, and the second is what you were just talking about. A lot more educational / informational type content, right? Show me how your product works. Show me how your site works. Show me how I gain value from it. Show me why I should care, right? And you don't show me how you care by DMing me in my inbox and saying, check out my cart.
Yeah.
Right? You do it by showing the heart and the culture of your company, or if you have something that has one of the great things about cannabis, in my opinion, I'm always kind of working with the client or working with clients that Wrazel, as you know, has to basically tell them, or explain to them that, this community is very hungry for this information.
Yeah.
They want a lot of this, and you'll find them to be very, very communicative. They are more than willing to share and support you in ways that other spaces or industries don't necessarily work that way. There's a lot of advantage, not just for top tier companies or investors, but also for people just starting out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a great way to ingratiate yourself. Double down on what you do well, save yourself some overhead, and go off. And really just hone in on what you are, which helps your business as a whole, anyways. To kind of map.
Just like you said, people in this community are hungry for knowledge and to share knowledge.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. So, that is our last question I think that we're going to get to today. Dino, before we bid our adieu, where can people find you out there? Make sure that they can come see you.
Well, actually, they can either go to dbranding LA, or dbranding.la, or dbrandingla.com, depends on how much time you have. Or really one-on-one, the best thing is to find me on LinkedIn, Dino H Carter on LinkedIn. I think there's only one. And I'm there. I've been helping a lot of people over the last 3 weeks on LinkedIn with any question that they have, how to pivot. And actually, yesterday, we already started seeing results. A woman that I helped like a week and a half ago to ramp up her social media and get to the people that she wanted. 3 days ago, we saw that she's trending on LinkedIn.
There you go.
So it works. So you can find me on LinkedIn and always email me, dino@dbrandingla.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dino. And of course, you guys can go to Wrazel.com if you have any questions about investing in or seeking funding for cannabis companies. On top of that, there's a business database and a services index that you and your sales and or marketing team should really sink your teeth into. And of course, you can find me all over the place as well, Holler 1012 on most social platforms, or Wrazel is on most social platforms. Feel free to look us up, and we are happy to answer any questions that you have, just like Dino is. Dino, thank you so much for being on Connecting Cannabis today.
Thanks for having me.
Always good to see you, sir.
Thanks, man.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.